Major Mohommed Ali Shah is joining me on the broadcast. Major Shah, we have been discussing this over and over. We had discussed in the past where India has hit out at China, rejecting fresh allegations. Of course, you had given your views. Now, let's also address the fact that China's continuous deployment in large number of troops in the border areas. Now, why does China have to deploy these number of troops wherein there has been a disengagement process which is already happening?
China is only trying to flex its muscles. On ground, they would not be able to do anything much. But at the same time, it is said that one should never consider your adversary weaker than you at the same time. So, if you see tactfully, militarily, when these Chinese advances are being made, they are coming in the open. They are coming in tents. They are not coming, or they had container accommodation, which is like the ship containers, no? the cargo containers, so which are mobile, which are movable, and also they have, to a large extent, they are fire resistant, and they are also they are like bulletproof in a way, you can call it. Now, when these Chinese come in the open, they obviously do not intend coming in for an attack, because they have always believed in winning wars without fighting. They would not really encourage a military confrontation as such. And also with the winter setting in, we have the biggest advantage, that's general winter. So we are more hardy than them. We are better equipped, better trained than them, in fact, for that matter. Now, when Chinese have made the advances, they are perceiving that the Indian army will see the Chinese and they will retreat from there, they will move back, but they will not. They are under a wrong impression. Indian army will give them a befitting reply which they will remember for generations and centuries together. So, what I can see by Chinese advances are, yes, they are following the philosophy of moving one step behind and slyly taking two steps forward. But we are also on the vigil, we are also on the guard, we are not going to be taking it lying down. We have adequate measures of sorting out the Chinese in the right possible way.
Right, Major Shah, you know, on one hand, CDS Bipin Rawat is in the US and on the other hand, Army Chief Naravne is of course in Ladakh viewing the preparedness. You know, both are India's top defense leadership is of course somehow looking to counter China, and of course US also, you know, helping India and to, you know, in also building a defense alliance. Now, do you think US will also come forward in and put in its inputs in the Eastern Ladakh row?
I hope they do. I really hope they do, because at the same time, even US is on the guard. When US can raise alarm bells for North Korea testing its fourth missile in 1 month, and US is also careful that no other power should actually supersede them, should actually take over from them. So, as it is, we have a strong hold in the South China Sea, and of course, with the coming of the Quad, Australia, Japan, India, and America. So we are definitely vigilant there. But now, when we have top brass already working on it, when they are already planning strategies, when we have our Chief of the Army Staff going over to Ladakh and inspecting and seeing the preparedness of our soldiers. And this international interference also lays pressure on China. And China, as it is, was actually feeling guilty conscious when our Prime Minister had gone to US and he was addressing in the UN meeting. He was there for the Quad. He was meeting the President of and the Vice President of USA. So China, as it is, was perceiving that there is something probably being planned against them. So most certainly, how much ever pressure we mount on China is always good. As it is, Mr. Arindam Bakshi, the person of the Ministry of Affairs, has stated that China's military attempts they are really going strong, and yes, but if that is thing, we are going to be giving a befitting reply to China politically, diplomatically, militarily, in every way possible for that matter.
Right. We have heard in the past that the Chinese foreign minister had said India and China are committed to take talks forward and resolve issues. Now, we had discussed whether this will be a success or not, but clearly when China is, of course, now deploying its troops at LAC, this is absolutely, they are being hypocrite on their part.
Absolutely, 200%. And that is the speciality of China. I mean, they are big hypocrites. They believe in psychological warfare. They believe in protecting much more than they have, where the world perceives them to be much more powerful. They are very big hypocrites. They are untrustworthy. They are liars. You can take examples of in the 60s, Chinese, they were trying to invade, and before the war broke out, they used to come in big brigades, in large numbers, and they would say, Indi Chini, bye bye. And then they would end up stabbing us in the back at the end of the day. So Chinese, we said it very correctly, they are very, very hypocritical and were not to be trusted.
All right, Major Shah, thank you for joining us on the broadcast and helping us with all those inputs.